What's up? You're here with your boy DJ T, man. Welcome to Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm here with my girl Shila Healy from mycredithealer.com. I'm going to say .com because I don't. Do you have a website?
I do. www.mycredithealer.com.
Boom. Boom. Today, first of all, let me give a special shout out to my executive media producer, The Judge, and also a shout out to our members that couldn't join us today. My boy Ree, Jazz, they here with us in spirit. I had some things to take care of, but we're going to keep this show rolling. We're going to get this thing popping. Today, we're going to be talking about credit. We're going to be talking about financial literacy. This is part 2. And as y'all know, part 1 was fire. Shayla gave us some fire information. Shyla gave us some fire information. See, she had to check me real quick. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have a beautiful name.
Thank you.
And I suck at names, obviously. But
okay.
it's all right.
Remember it today.
I'm going to remember today.
Yeah.
You're going to hit me upside my head with this microphone.
I'm just keep it correct.
So, Charlotte, so we're going to talk about our last episode we ended and we were talking about structuring your profile. Mm-hmm. We're just going to kind of keep flowing into that. We're going to talk about statement dates, the difference between statement dates and due dates.
So credit cards, okay, yep, okay.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I'm sorry, you want to introduce yourself again for me to the people? And let them know who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, why you're passionate about it, and how you got started.
All right, so my name is Shila Healy. I'm president and CEO of My Credit Healer. I am registered and trademarked. Hello. Serious about my business.
She mean business.
Yes, I used to be a single mother of 4 kids once and upon a day, having 2 to 3 jobs at a time, always hustling, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, but also make a better life for my children. So I want to do the same for other women, especially single mothers, to go from financial chaos to financial worthiness, whatever that would be in her mind. But we're going to start with her mindset.
Okay. I love it. I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing for. Now, do you have majority of your clients are women, or do you have a mixture of both of them?
Majority of my clients are women, yes. And some of them, I won't say that they're single or whatever, because I'll take any client as long as they are structured well and they actually meet the qualifications. But I will say majority of my clients are women.
Okay.
I'll take men too.
Okay.
Because everybody need help.
Yeah. But I like the fact that you niched it down for single mothers or just mothers in general, because man, a lot of mothers, they need this. You know, a lot of single mothers out here raising their kids by themselves, and they genuinely want to provide the way that they need to provide for them, and do these special activities on top of that. And sometimes it's just having a 9-to-5 income and not understanding certain things, and your credit being messed up, that don't always get you to where you want to get. So we appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're making the world a better place. So appreciate you.
One single mom at a time.
Boom. So we're going to talk about the difference between statement date. We're going to open this thing up talking about the difference between statement date and due date.
Okay.
I've learned this, and it's kind of complicated, because you have 2 dates that you have to look for, and a lot of people don't know. A lot of people pay their credit cards based on the due date and say, boom, my credit card, I got the money back. Boom, I'm swiping. But then 10 days later, this statement date hit, and then it's reporting to the credit bureaus that you just spent, that you just maxed your credit card out, but you just paid it. So tell us the difference between the statement date and the due date, and how to go about handling, this situation.
Okay. All right. So statement date is when the actual statement cuts off. It goes from one date to another. That's when they're actually tracking everything, right? The due date is the date that's actually on the statement. So if you were to use a credit card, let's say I had Discover. I'm going to say them because they're my favorite. I've had them for 20 plus years. Okay. So Discover on mine has a statement cutoff of the 6th of, let's say, February. But my due date is the 4th of February. Can I pay my balance off by the 4th of February? Absolutely. But if I start to use my card again on the 5th, it's going to report that I have a balance, because when my statement cut on the 6th, I had a balance.
Right.
So that statement date is what normally gets reported to the credit bureaus or the data furnishers, which credit bureaus, right?
Right.
That's what's actually going to report. So people educate, oh, well, you need to just pay this by the due date, pay your minimum, and then pay the rest off by your statement date. One, don't get it too confused and twisted. Pay it all by the due date. Or figure out if you are actually being charged by a daily compound interest. Because sometimes you're getting charged daily interest. So you need to know as soon as that statement cuts, right? Me, because I don't want to be charged no interest, the statement cuts on the 6th, I'm paying it off by the 7th. I'm not paying no minimum payment because I don't want to be charged no interest.
Right.
I'm paying it off by the 7th. As soon as I get that email saying your statement's ready,
right,
paid in full, not a minimum. I can do minimal if that is your term, absolutely, because you need to make sure that the statement is reporting that you are utilizing it. That's what the lenders and stuff like that, that's what, if you're going to go for another credit card, they need to see that you have a great financial habit. Can you properly use the credit card?
Right.
So you got a $2,000 credit card, but you used all $2,000.
Yeah.
So you see that on a credit report, it's like, oh, well, you already maxed out your credit card. That's not looking good to a lender if that statement comes. But say you have a $2,000 credit card, but you only have a $400 or $500 balance.
Right.
That looks like a great financial standpoint when that statement cuts. If you can't pay it all, that's fine, but you want to make sure that it's underneath a certain amount. I would say between 5 to 7% utilization of whatever that balance is. That way you can see that it's a good financial tool, and that you are doing what's right by your credit, and you can know how to use those type of tools. That's the difference between a due date and a statement date. It's really when it's being reported.
Okay. And so, why is it set up? I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to why is something like that set up in that way. Is that because the due date is more so for the banking standpoint, and the statement date is more so for the credit bureau standpoint? Is that?
I can't tell you why these creditors do what they do, and why they have it certain ways. I can't tell you that. However, what I can do is, for a consumer, it gives them some time. Because how many times have you forgot, or the due date has fluctuated, and you're like, the due date was on the 3rd, but all of a sudden it's the 5th. They need to have a set cutoff time for when that statement cuts. And sometimes that is also a grace period. Okay, well, if you don't pay by the 3rd, we're going to give you a late payment, but you need to go ahead and make this payment by this time before it actually reports to the bureaus as a late payment. So I might have a due date of 3rd. I'm like, crap, I forgot this payment again. Let me go ahead and pay this on the 4th. My statement cuts on, what I say, the 6th or 7th or whatever. I paid it off. It's not reporting as a late payment.
Right, because you had that little buffer.
That little bit of buffer.
Yeah.
And depending on your state, it might be a longer buffer.
Yeah. So, man, I'm kind of going off the dome. We need to. I'm gonna have to write some questions down next time for you, because I got so many. But I wanna ask you questions about some. That's one I wanted to ask you about wealth planning, because I mean, once we get all of this. Once you get everything in order, your finances or your personal finances in order, you have a better habit on your money. You've created a budget, and your credit is somewhat, flowing the way that you want to flow it. We talked about insurance. What's some other financial tools or some financial wealth planning that you can possibly be doing to structure generations in your family? And we talking about generational, setting things up for generational wealth. Right.
So even with insurance, you need to make sure that even your personal business is set up right. Not just like, say I have a business, is my business structure to be handed out to somebody? I'm talking about your personal business. So I might own a house. Is that house going to be paid off if I pass? Is that land going to be traded down to my heirs? There are certain things like that to make sure that you're creating that generation. Oh, well, I need to have this house. All right, great. Well, I'm going to use this house and go buy another one and put my kid in it, or put it in their name and keep building from there. There's all types of different wealth planning depending on what your goal is. Is it just to go from you to your kid, or you to your grandchildren, or you to your great-grandchildren? I got 7 grandbabies, but do I know if their parents are going to do what they're supposed to do with the stuff? They're not financially set, right? So how do I make sure that they're secure?
Right.
It's all of that. It's a lot that takes.
Right.
It's a lot of planning. What can they comprehend and what can you pass down without any of the legal loopholes? All right, bank account, for example. I might have a $20,000 bank account. What if I was to die today?
Yeah, and it's like it's all kind of caught up in the legal system of like, I mean, you can't get it because your name's not signed on my documents and whatnot.
Set up a pay on death.
What was that?
POD, pay on death.
And it's gonna be taxed as well, right? With interest, possibly.
No, not necessarily, because that was money that was already taxed by whoever owned it, right? So, say if I was to die, I have a bank account that's set up. I put a pay on death. Say I was to be like, you know what? I got my husband as my pay on death, and it was a bank account that we had separate. Okay, not that I have a separate bank account. That's not neither here nor there. But he set up as a pay on death.
I know, I know you women.
I mean, he knows I got my side bank account because baby got to pay for hair and nails and stuff. Right, the judge got to pay for the trips and stuff. Right.
It's all right.
But if something was to happen to me on one of them trips, all he has to do is take my death certificate to the bank, whatever their banking process is or whatever, but they'll end up cutting him a check.
Oh, okay.
For whatever's in that account without having to go through probate and anything. Say if a family member was like, oh, well, that was my kid, so it belongs to me. Oh, no. No. Do not pass the road. Do not collect $200. It goes to the person I had pay on death. I could say that pay on death is, let's say it's my 21-year-old. It won't go to my husband. No matter how much he tries to fight, it's going to go to my 21-year-old because I listed somebody on that as a beneficiary. There's certain types of different wealth that you want to build, whether it be in investment real estate, flipping houses, leaving things as legacies, CD, bonds. I'm not sure how young or old people are even know about those. Dating myself, honestly. But it's the different structures and things. What type of legacy are you building?
Right.
It's not just the life insurance.
Right. How do you feel about, because this is something that me and my brother and my dad's been talking about, setting up life insurance policies for the oldest person in your family, and everybody's paying into that life insurance policy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more like running a relay with life insurance policies. You're basically creating these life insurance policies for maybe one of the family members. When that family member pass on, you recycling this plan, basically taking that money and rolling it into a new plan for the next family member that's up in age and whatnot.
Everybody needs a life insurance policy. I don't care if you're 99. I don't care if you're 2 weeks old. Everybody needs a life insurance policy because tomorrow is not promised. Heck, this next 10 minutes isn't promised. I can kill over, die right now. That life insurance policy is what is going to protect my family.
Right.
Now, the different types of life insurance policy, that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Did you get a term? Did you get a whole life? Did you get a index universal life plan? Is it something that's going to pay you out? I'm always going to go with an IUL or an index universal life because as the stock prices and stuff goes up, the one that I like is if the stock drops, my price don't drop. I don't lose money. It stays where it is until it keeps coming back up. And as you keep paying into it, you can actually take off of that debt. I don't have to just use it as a death benefit. I can use it to go and pay into something else. I can pull from it because I want to put a down payment on something else, right?
Yeah.
I can use it as, I like to call my kids accidental stuff, right? Accidental. My kid forgot to tell me about something that happened in school, and it's going to cost me about $5,000 to send them to New York because of whatever trip they had. I don't have to come out my pocket. You know what? What my index universal life insurance policy look like? How much cash value do I have that I can pull without being taxed on my own money?
Right. And I think that was the standpoint of, because like I said, we've heard about this ideal of what I was just explaining. I probably explained it. I'm for sure I butchered the ideal because it is you guys have your own individual life insurance policy. I think it's more so of that infinite banking type deal, what you were just talking about.
But at least you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because GoFundMe ain't it.
Oh no, GoFundMe and selling plates is not the way.
And I bet not see a T-shirt either. I tell the judge, best friend, if you ever put my face on a T-shirt, I'm hiding everybody that put my face on a T-shirt. You better not do it.
You better not put her face on no T-shirt.
And I better not see a spaghetti plate, a steak plate, no nothing. And you better not put no GoFundMe, because your GoFundMe even gets taxed. Why? When I
You
got
better
policy?
not die on me.
Yeah.
Hello, I even have end of life plan. There is an order to who should be in the line in my funeral.
What?
Do you want? How many? Can I pause it right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know I talk finances, but how many funerals have you been to? And it's a hot ghetto mess.
A lot.
Baby, we not doing that in today's time. You know what birth and death is for sure. Just like death and taxes, right?
Yeah.
You know you gonna die. You know what your favorite color is. You know exactly, like, man, I don't want that in my funeral, but if you don't put it in writing, who's gonna take over your funeral?
Yeah.
Hello. I don't want somebody like, oh, well, my baby mama is gonna be in this because she was XYZ. Hello.
Yeah, you got no business.
Who's going in what obituary?
Yeah.
Who's going to be a pallbearer? Absolutely not. So what you're not going to do is, no, but seriously, you got to think about end of life planning. That also comes with a financial plan, because not only do you need to have life insurance, that life insurance, depending on what type of policy you have, probably is only going to pay so much. An average death or funeral probably costs anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000, if not more, depending on what you want.
Right.
From a cremation to putting your body in the ground, you got to pay to open that ground.
Yeah.
You got to pay to close the ground. You got to pay for the headstone. All that is in finances, right? Now you got to pay for the obituaries, and you ain't putting my name or nothing on just no regular piece of paper, because you ain't gonna set no coffee cup and it's gonna be a ring. You gonna get some real stuff on my stuff, right?
So all in all, just get cremated.
No, because even at my creation service, baby, the judge gonna have a crown, a tiara for her friend. Hello.
Hey, come on. Tell them, best friend. Tell them.
There's all of that. You know exactly what the funeral service is gonna do for everything. And my husband better know. My best friend from Kansas City, she knows if I was to die, she knows exactly what needs to do. She gonna come down. She gonna stay with my husband for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
While she helps execute my plan that's already stored.
Yeah.
I'm not playing no games, and that's what everybody needs to think. Death is such it's a hard subject to talk about.
Yeah,
nobody
is.
wants to think about dying.
Yeah, we definitely run.
But we eventually gonna die.
Yeah.
And I change it every 5 years, because as my kids get older, they can start doing certain things too. As people start dying off.
What did you keep this like on a little PDF form or something?
I keep it on a drive, yep. And sometimes I let the beneficiaries of my life insurance plans or my bank accounts, those beneficiaries know exactly where to find the information if something was to happen to me. Letting those people know, because how many times, well, prime example, my husband was the only child of his mother, right? Her husband died several years before that. He had an insurance policy in California when he died from 2001 that was supposed to be paid out to his wife, which was my husband's mother at that time, right? She didn't know nothing about it. We got a call probably about 6 months ago. I'm going to put an X amount of dollar on it, right? There's a policy in California. We're trying to get tapped into it. Can we have it? What policy of what? Because didn't nobody know who the beneficiary was. So now he has to prove the death certificate of his deceased stepdaddy, his mama, and prove that he is the sole heir to her.
Oh, wow.
So letting these people know who is the beneficiary of what is definitely important.
Yeah. Wow.
I know that was a lot.
No. Thank you for that. So how do you feel about IRAs, Roth IRA versus 401k? Let's jump back over there, because I'm getting kind of nervous about death. No, I'm just playing.
No. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not the best to talk about it. I definitely invest into it myself, yes, because I do still have a 9 to 5. However, if you have a 9 to 5 and you have a 401k, and say if you were to change to another job, you need to make sure that 401k jumps from job to job and keeps rolling over to another. Otherwise, it just stays with that job. They're not going to just roll over for you. You need to make sure that money comes with. However, there's different investments. That's a whole nother stock investment, which I am not licensed to keep
Okay.
on.
Okay. Okay. Well, cool. Do you have anything else you want to share with us about the credit world, the financial world, um, anything that anything that people can utilize into, let's say someone that again that is trying to structure things in a way for themselves and don't have necessary the tools to kind of come and sit down with a professional. Again, what's something that they can do to position themselves in the direction that they want to go financially?
Okay. So let's start with the basics, right? What can you get for free? You can get your official credit reports from www.annualcreditreport.com. You can get TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian for free. They do not give you the scores. If you just want to know the score, you can go to Experian.com and get a FICO A score from Experian, but it only shows Experian. You have to pay for the others, right? Those are some free services, right? As far as credit, but also knowing exactly what factors into a credit score and a credit file, which are two completely separate things. What's in your file determines your score. And not everybody looks at one or the other. Sometimes they look at both. Depending on what type of lender you go to. If you know that you are going to a mortgage lender, they're looking at more than just your credit file, because they're going to ask you, well, why do you have all these different names? Well, what happened to this one? Why do you got so many date of births? Even though they know that you are only one person, they're going to ask you so many different things. So knowing and starting to understand what your goal is going to be first. But let's go back to credit factors really quick. And we're not talking about no credit karmas, credit factors, okay? Okay, no credit karmas.
Wait, before you do that, how big of an issue is it to have multiple names, multiple addresses, multiple birthdays when you're trying to go in to get approved for something in a bank? How crucial is it to whether or not you're getting approved or you're going to get denied?
It depends on what's attached to. Because say if the wrong name, say there's a lot of people that are either twins or juniors or seniors, right? Say you are a junior and your senior has credit trash, but his file is mixed and merged with yours. But your name is the same.
Yeah.
That can approve or deny you altogether. It's like, well, I ain't never had this. This is dated back before I was born. How is this possible?
Right.
So it's important to clean up your personal information as you are starting a credit repair journey first, especially when you're looking at stuff. When you're pulling those bureaus, right? You want to see what differentiation, what differences you have. Narrow it down if you can to one name, one address, one date of birth, one social security number. You don't have to have a spouse or a co-signer. It doesn't have to have your number on there either. But that's how creditors find you as well. That's how the collectors, they be like, well, how you find me? Because it was on your credit report.
Yeah.
A data furnisher put it on the credit report, and now they calling every number that's on there.
Yeah.
Now they sending a letter to every address that's on there.
Yeah. We got 6 minutes. I wanted to ask you something.
So let me quickly go over
ahead,
this
go
real quick
ahead.
while
No,
you think about that about that question.
I mean, I don't even know if I have enough time to ask you the question because it really would the question would jump into a whole nother subject of what if it would jump into consumer law, and I don't know if we're
Look,
FDCPA, Tiller, and all those good.
How
But
you
go
know
ahead.
about that?
Because I told you I was reading.
That's the thing. Not a lot of people like, you know what? I don't want to read that. I ain't got time for that. But you did your due diligence.
Oh man, it's
And that's
when I
important.
first read it, I cried because it's man.
Knowing your rights is such a game changer. Once you actually know what rights you actually have, you're like,
Yeah.
they ain't supposed to do what?
Yeah, it's like
But
what
did you
did
know-
what?
Did you know that per violation you can get paid up to
Yes,
$1,000?
Yes, I can't remember what the FDCPA, which one it was, but
What's
I
the
remember.
FDCPA? I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the spot.
I forgot Federal Credit.
Nope.
Federal. I forgot the name of it.
Fair Debt Collections Practice
Thank you.
Act. That's okay.
There you go.
No, you thinking of FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Yeah. I
But
see.
even then,
FCR and Tiller. I forgot what Tiller was, but I know it's dealing with the car dealerships mainly, right? Tiller.
Tiller,
Yeah, it's like
the Truth in Lending Act,
yeah. A lot of people say that one.
that
That
deals with a lot more than just the car dealerships.
What?
But there's a lot. If we about to do
Girl, we
the
girl.
consumer, yeah, we're gonna gonna need a whole day for that.
A whole day for consumer law.
But let me go ahead and break down credit factors for consumer credit. That's so unprofessional. I'm so sorry. Let me stop real quick. Credit factors. Knowing your credit factors, especially if you're looking at a credit score factor. Okay? So FICO, not Vantage, not Credit Karma, not Credit Watch, but FICO scores has 5 factors. Okay? First one, payment history. It's not just more than just paying your payment on time, right? Payment history is 35% of your scores. That's 192.5 points. Think about it. If a credit score ranges between 300 and 850, how many points is that? It's not 850. It's 550. Meaning you only have 550 points to play with.
Within that 300 to 850.
Hello. Yes. Yes. So that's what the people's like, well, I got 850. Thank you. I told you. But that a lot of people's like, no, I got 850 points. No, you don't. You ain't got for 850 points. Go ahead and stop yourself right there. Great, but no. You have 550 points to actually play with when you're coming to your credit score factors, right? And 35% of that is payment history, which is the greatest factor, which is only 192.5 points. Utilization is 30% of your scores, right? Out of that 550 points, that's 165. But what is the utilization actually based off of?
Yep.
Open credit cards. Open that you can actually use. So if you have closed charged off cards, that ain't counting it, right?
Yeah.
But if you have no credit cards, you ain't got 165 points. Therefore, you can't even make it to the 700s without it. That's why I tell people it's important to still have credit cards and know how to properly use them, right? Then you have the average age of credit. That's 15% of a 550 points. Was that 82.5? Am I doing that right? 82.5 points.
Don't give me the line to you.
Look,
Math ain't my strong point.
Look, it used to be I'm so out. So we got 550 points, yeah, and then we gonna do 15%, 82.5 points
For your utilization.
No. That's for the average age history. So
you
could just begin with credit, but it's too young of an age.
Yeah.
You need to have at least 5 to 7 years to be really looking good, right? So I might have a Dell card that, because I just went and got a new piece of jewelry, but I also got that 20-year Discover card. So that average age is 10 years, which still looks good on a credit file. Okay? Now we got 10 and 10 that's left, right? 10 and 10 is 55 points each. So you have new credit and you have a mix of credit. So you don't want to have more than 2 to 3 inquiries per bureau. It's important to know which bureaus are being pulled. If you're going to auto, are you pulling all 3 or are you just doing 2?
Right.
Or which one are you just doing?
Right.
That way you know how many inquiries they're going to pull if you go to a dealer. I don't recommend it, but that's another podcast as well. Yeah. But then also the mix of credit. If you ain't got no credit cards, only you got is a bad loan and a repo, what you got? Nothing. Yeah. Bad credit. Yeah. You need to have a mix of good credit cards, right? A couple of installment loans. Student loans, as many people like, man, I got this bad student loans and I owe $26,000 and some odd dollars or whatever, however they're in forbearance. They're actually doing you more good than harm.
Yeah.
So it's knowing those different things that's actually going to be important.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right. Thank you so much. Oh, someone that's rebuilding or building for the age is self-lender or any one of those what do they call again, those credit cards?
Those are builder cards. So there's a self-lender, there's a kite or whatever it's called, right? There is a credit builder card.
They got this new one, the Tomo credit card. It's kind of based off your bank account, but it's
yes, but you want to be aware of what you're giving access to.
Yeah.
Because there's also Experian Boost, right? So say if it, I know we got 55 seconds, right? But say you're giving Experian Boost access to your bank statements, but your payment history on a certain thing in your bank statement is all off. Therefore, it can make your payment history bad.
What?
People don't know that. Limit what you're access, so make sure that everything else is in line. Yes, it can help boost, but it's only on that particular thing.
Yeah.
You'll make sure that it's actually doing right by you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish we had more time because, like I said, we can
Talk
talk
for
about this
hours.
all day long. Tell people how they can reach you. What's your social? What's your contact?
All right, so my business contact is My Credit Healer, My Credit Healer, NYCreditHealer. That's on all social medias, and you can go to Shila Healy, ShylaHealy.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man.
On all social media, hit me up on either one. Each one is going to reference another. Just go ahead and shoot me a DM if you want as well. Again, go ahead and use those free resources.
Yeah. Yep.
Pull your credit.
Yeah.
Can't know where it's at if you don't know if you don't do it.
Oh, cool. What's something encouraging that you would want to leave with our viewers for today? Something that you would recommend for them to kind of keep doing or keep pushing towards in the financial realm.
Never stop. Just when you think it's going to hurt, keep pushing.
Yeah.
Never stop. Once you start the journey, you got to keep seeing through its progress. Because if you just stop, you're gonna be in the same situation. If you started last year, where would you be today?
Yeah.
If you start today, imagine where you'll be next year.
Right.
Keep on with your goals and keep going.
Keep on rumbling when it's tumbling. Bow, 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 bow.
Rolling.
Well, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming out and talking on Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. This is something that is near and dear to our heart, especially for our members and educating them in a realm that a lot of us struggle in. So we appreciate you. We appreciate your service.
Yes, and she most definitely will be back.
Yes,
I will?
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
you will be back, especially with the whole rest of the crew here, because I know they have questions as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get your contact information when we finish, because I need to talk to you, girl. I need to get my credit right. I'm saying.
Hello.
But as always, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in again. This is Mind, Body, and Soul.